so I got this MP15 switcher here. I'm going to show you how I weather it. So first thing we do is start with putting the decals on. So there's a lot of decals readily available for O-Scale Long Island now, since MTH doesn't have the rights to the MTA logo. So I got the decal on. Now if you're just going to put the decal on with water, it's going to peel off. So you want to make sure it doesn't peel off, and that you could, do that with your finger and it stays on there. So you got to get some micro setting solution. You paint it on there first, and then you slide the decal on off of the decal backing paper onto the model. And then you just kind of dab it dry with a little paper towel. Just very gently dab all the excess water off, and then you let it sit there for 24 hours. That's it. So if you don't have this, your decals aren't going to set properly. So make sure you get some of this. It's made by Microscale, and it's called Micro Set. Now, this engine's got some reflective strips that go down the length of this walkway here. So, got my styrene here. I got my gloss tangerine colored tester's paint. I'm going to paint this styrene, and then I'm going to crazy glue. I'll cut it after that, and then crazy glue the reflective strips on here. How do you keep the styrene straight while you paint it? Very simple. You put it into vice grips and you clamp down as hard as you can. So here's that reflective strip all painted. I'm gonna let it dry, and then this will go on after the model is weathered. So I'm gonna get started with weathering it right now. All right, so we got some tape there protecting the engineer figure and the can motor, since those windows are open. And when you start weathering, the last thing you want to do is just hit the model with spray paint without masking everything off first. So just never, oops, what happened? Just never do that. So anyway, what I wanted to do here is just kind of flatten the black on the top. That's about it. And what I do to kind of fade in everything is I just use the turpentine, and I just let that run off. And I'll wipe away the excess, and I'll keep doing that until it looks good. So I'll show you in a minute. See, check that out. It's got a natural faded, grimy look, and this is a good start. So we're gonna do a lot more to the engine, but this is basically how I start, with the turpentine. And see all that right there? I'm gonna send it back like that. No, I'm not. Just take all that, and you run it down. Think of like rainwater. That's that. All right, so we did the coat on the top, that flat black. You can see the roof of the engine looks a lot better. And then we worked in that turpentine and that black paint and kind of gave the engine a little bit more of a faded look all around. So now what we're gonna do is start painting the vents and air intakes and stuff like that, and I'll get back with you. So you can see we got the vents done. Over here too, they're looking pretty good on the top. So I start with a dark brown, and then I go over it with black. So it's kind of a layer effect there. You can kind of see two colors, especially on that top one. And you can still sort of see the blue through these vents here, and that's deliberate. So now we're going to work on the underside. Alright, so we got those trucks painted with a flat brown, and that's a real good starting point there. Now we're going to work on the pilots. So here's a little recap on what I've done so far. I started out by spraying the top of the locomotive with flat black, and then I blended it in using turpentine to kind of fade the whole model. And then after that, I did the vents. I hand painted the vents up top too. And then after that, I moved on to the trucks and the fuel tank. I put a coat of flat brown on the trucks, and I flattened out the fuel tank as well. And then I did the pilots. And see that? You want to check everything. See that little blotch there? I don't really like that, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay? So we get rid of that blotch. Did a little bit of a flat brown on a couple or two. Flip it around for you. So basically just flattened everything and faded everything. So now what we're going to do is go through and do all the accents, and that's what's really going to bring this to life. Right now it just kind of looks like a faded flat model, but now we want to bring to life all of the different weathering accents. So we're going to do some rust on the trucks, we're going to do streaking on the fuel tank, and then we're going to do that kind of faded white look on the locomotive, because on the pictures that I have, you could kind of see the previous paint scheme bleeding through on these panels. So I'm going to replicate that, and then there's a couple other little highlights we'll do as well. All right, so we got all the accents, rust marks, paint fading done. There it is. So there's the reflective strip. I'm going to put that on tomorrow. Nice looking engine.
Get B&B to check it out. The engine was facing the wrong way. The hostler had to turn it on a turntable, headed east. So what's the move?
We're dropping stone on the West Hempstead branch.
Where are we dropping the stone?
They got us dropping between Malvern and Lakeview. We're going to go out to St. Albans end. When 108 goes by, the brakeman and I will get the St. Albans crossover, and we'll head in at Valley Stream. If Valley holds us in the yard long enough, I'll send the brakeman down for coffee.
Sounds like a plan. We're really behind schedule today.
Could be worse. Would you rather be going to Bay Ridge to get the bogeys for Pine Lawn?
Don't even get me started on them bogeys. Let's not even go there.
Work extra to haul. Haul tower to work extra. Go ahead.
I want to cross over from 1 to 2. I'll call you after 108 is by me.
Roger that. Yeah, haul tower. 108 is by me with Marcus. Work extra. You have permission to cross from 1 to 2.
Yeah, roger that, Hall. I'll give you a call when I'm on the main, when the switches are locked in line normal. Hall tower, work extra for number 2 main. Switches are locked in line normal.
That's a copy, work extra.
Alrighty, you ready? We're okay to make the move.
Roger, let's roll.
Awesome engine. I'm not really much of a modern Long Island collector, only because I left the island before we started seeing these paint schemes, but I really like this one. This came out really, really well, and I think this is probably my favorite modern Long Island Railroad diesel paint scheme, especially for these switchers, because they've gone through so many different paint variations. I remember them being blue and white, and then they were like this dark purplish blue with yellow trim, and then they went to that other blue with the white stripe, and I don't know, there's so many variations. But I like this one. I really didn't even know much about this paint scheme until I started Googling it and doing some research as to how to weather it. So this is really awesome. So I enjoyed it, and can see I've got the Long Island Railroad ore cars here. These were used for carrying stone and gravel, so they match up with the sound set and the engine pretty well. I'll probably drop this sound set into one of my blue and white MP15s, so because I really like it. They did a great job on the sound set with this one. But that's it for now, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.